Hey there, this is yours truly, Dan Orange. And today I want to talk about something, and it's very current. It's about the World Cup. As you're all aware, most of the African teams have already been knocked out. We saw the first one to go, I believe, was Tunisia, followed by Cameroon, then Ghana, and lately Senegal has gone. We are left with Morocco, which is a good team. As you know, I was really supporting the African teams. I wanted them to win for change because I believe that Africa produces great, perhaps the greatest soccer players. And Africa has never won the World Cup. No country in Africa has ever won the World Cup. So this time, I predicted that Ghana or Cameroon actually were going to win the World Cup. My predictions have, of course, been disapproved because we are left with Morocco, and Morocco could still surprise us. It's still a surprise there. But what I want to talk about today is what I've observed. I don't know about you, but I've observed a lot of things about many players. If you look at Europe and perhaps North America, you will notice that there is an African immigrant in those teams that is making those teams really strong. It's a good thing, and we really appreciate the diversity that those nations are able to accept immigrants in their countries and give them equal opportunity to play. They prove themselves among, I believe there's fierce competition to make the team. And so there is Africans in those teams. Visiting the African continent, if you look at the, which is this tournament that is very popular, that's very famous, Africa Cup of Nations, which primarily sometimes is an indicative of which country is going to qualify for the World Cup. You will hardly see any East African nations doing better there. We can debate the reasons, but the truth of the matter is that majority of the countries that represent Africa in the World Cup are either West Africans, North Africans. Very rarely have we had a representation from South Africa. Perhaps, I don't remember if Zambia has been there or Angola. Perhaps, of course, yes, we had South Africa in there when South Africa hosted the World Cup. But in most cases, there's no East African teams. So I want to address my concern today to my home country, Kenya. Kenya is my motherland. That is where my placenta was buried. Even though I live in the US now, I'm a naturalized American, but a dual citizen with the motherland, Kenya. We have a problem. We've tried to make it to the World Cup. The Kenyan players are great. We've tried to make it to the World Cup, but we haven't really succeeded because Cameroon, Nigeria, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Senegal, they always do better than us, and they make it. My rallying call here for radical change has always been that Africa needs to be divided into a way such that the big continent of Africa is not one tournament that the best 5 teams goes to the World Cup. That is a flawed system. I've said it many times and I'll say it again. That is a flawed system. It is corruption. it is a situation where countries that are primarily from one area will do better than the others. Because I don't know if you've noticed, Africa is divided into people have talent in different areas. And if you want me to prove it here, I'll tell you that I have never seen West Africans running the marathon, but I've seen a lot of Kenyans running the marathon. But you see, the Olympics, every country is represented in the Olympics. So Kenya should be in the World Cup, not through the current qualifying system, but through a different way. I am of the opinion that Africa needs to be divided like this, whereby there is a tournament on the northwest, north, east, and probably south. And each team should qualify in those areas, and then perhaps another team qualifies from being the best in all, maybe the one that wins the Africa Cup of Nations automatically qualify. But those 4 areas need their own tournament to select their best team to go. This way we will be represented by different teams. Why do I say this? Because the West African teams, even though they qualify, over these many years, I don't know how many years, I don't know whether to say it's 50 or 60, they have not done better. They have not reached the final. Let's be honest. I mean, when Kenya represents Africa in the Olympics, how many times have we brought gold medals? Many, many gold medals. Because when we go there and we look at these other competitors from these other areas, they don't intimidate us. We go in there and we get the gold. We want West Africa, when you represent us, as long as these laws are still okay, these rules are still being played about one tournament selecting 5 teams. Please, when you go there, when you look at those people, don't think these people are better than you. Don't go there with your head down as if you've already been scored 5 goals even before the game begins. Go there and play like you are the best. Congratulations to what Cameroon did this time. That man, he deserves the best because he really has proved that these teams and this FIFA ranking is just not true. How would you rank Kenya with the United States, and Kenya has never played the United States? It doesn't make any sense how to rank like that. But anyway, I digress. My thing here is now specifically for my people, Kenya. Now, let's be honest. You know, in Kenya, we have skills in different areas. I have never seen a runner or a person from the Western Kenya in the area of my tribe, the Luo people, run and win gold medals in marathons. Although I must admit, I was a runner, but I never was of that caliber to bring a gold medal. I got the gold medal in the President's Award Scheme when I was in college, but that's very different from this running of Eliud Kipchoge running a marathon in almost under 5 minutes a mile, consistently for 26 miles. That's amazing. So my point is that the people of the Rift Valley are traditionally good runners. They bring the gold medals. But soccer is played among my people, the Luo. Traditionally, the Luo are the best soccer players in Kenya, hands down. The Kalenjin, the Kipsigis, the Nandi are good runners, but the Luo are the best soccer players. Why haven't the Luos reached the World Cup? Because of the system in Africa that West Africa will be favored. But now let's visit one other thing that I've noticed in this World Cup. In all those European countries, you see players from Cameroon, you see players from Togo, you see players from Benin or Ivory Coast or Senegal or Ghana in these teams, in Germany, in Belgium, in Portugal, England, Canada, United States, you see the West Africans are all there. Why aren't Kenyans in those European and North American teams? Because the players in Kenya are suppressed. We've had regimes after regimes that have suppressed the Luo tribe. And the Luo have not been able to break the glass ceiling to think about not being reliant on the political system in Kenya, but opening up and forgetting about playing for the national team in Kenya. You will not go anywhere because the tribes that run that country will not put adequate money in the team to allow the team to be able to excel in skill. The Luo tribe has been suppressed for close to 60 years. And it will continue because these are the tribes have entered into a pact. 10 years is yours, 10 years is mine, 20 years is yours, 20 years is mine, when the Luo is waiting. And as long as the Luo is not in power, we will not see the advancement of the Luo soccer players. So I'm appealing to the Luo people, my tribe, that are in Kenya. Let's recognize this and let's nurture our skill. How? We've got to develop our talent in the Luo land areas. We've got to develop our talent. We can be suppressed, but we cannot be exterminated. We've got to procreate and we've got to migrate. We are Nilohamites and we have to migrate and go to Europe somehow and join those teams. Because if we play in those teams, we will make money. Our players are going to be known in this world. The Luo players, I want to put it to you, the Luo players are perhaps better than Brazilians, if not equal. And if we join these teams in Europe and North America, we will be able to show the world that we are naturally born soccer players. By the way, I played soccer, I coached soccer. It was because of soccer that my employer in Kenya gave me a huge mansion when I was coaching the hospital team. I was actually the manager. I coached soccer here in the United States, and I can tell you that any kid who comes from Africa, not just Luo or Kenya or whatever, we are superior. We kick the ball and we score. But it appears, of course, through training and through instilling the fact that education is the number one thing. That's true. But education is not for everybody. And we know that soccer players, their talent comes in their prime. Their talent comes when they're supposed to be actually in school, shaping their career to be doctors, lawyers, and all that. And we become that. Luo people are very smart indeed. And that's what we focused on. But we need to identify this talent of young people when they are young, and then we need to help them migrate. Let's find them homes, let's find them schools, if you're already a Luo migrant in the diaspora, consider adopting a Luo child and nurturing, especially a soccer player, and nurturing their skill in order to be able to advance their career in playing soccer. No, I'm not saying abandon school. I mean, they can do school, but I'm sure if they go to school, they can play soccer wherever they are, especially in Europe, because America doesn't really respect soccer yet. I mean, they still call it, they call it soccer, I'm sorry, but it's football. They don't respect football. They call it soccer, and they put a lot of resources in football instead of soccer. That's why they are not even doing good. We're not doing good. But I'm revisiting the issue of the people of my tribe. We are soccer players, and we need to play in those teams. Now, I understand some of Luo soccer players are playing in some countries in the clubs, okay? that is not equivalent to playing in the World Cup and to develop yourself fully, because you would be playing for a club, but you're still a Kenyan citizen in a country that you're oppressed. Quit playing for just the club. Join the country that is going to take you and respect your talent, and we will see you in the next World Cup playing for these teams, be it Israel, be it even Iran, be it Bahrain, be it whichever country you are playing in. Get the papers, because if you depend to appear in the World Cup with Harambee Stars, with a country that does not respect soccer or football, and at the same time is suppressing the Luo, your talent will never grow. Now, I know that this is a little tasty and a little controversial, but these are my thoughts, and my thoughts are my thoughts, and I stand by them. I don't know about you, but that's what I really wanted to say today, and I hope you have a good day. Cheers.